Michelle Graves, your host on The Power of Money, and I'm honored to have you as a part of my world in this coming segment. With The Power of Money, as you know, we are interested in three things. First, that you get the necessary education so that you and your family will have the information to do well in these difficult times. The second thing I'm interested in is for you to be empowered to prosper. I want only the best for you, but you can't get that if you don't have the education and then the drive to make it happen. And the final thing, and perhaps the most important thing, is that you be energized. Because life is more than a journey. Life is about living. And so I want you to learn these things and to be empowered and encouraged and energized. I'm Michelle Graves. Now here we go.
And here we go, and welcome to today's segment of The Power of Money. I'm your host, Michelle Graves, affectionately known for 40 years now as the Money Lady. Why? Because of my round expertise in so many facets of the money world, including investments, insurance, retail and commercial banking, institutional banking, life insurance, all of the above. A long, long history, a member of the Ohio Women's Hall of Fame, and all of the above. And I thank every one of you that is watching this show today, because this show, in my estimation, having done this particular program for many, many, many years, as you know, this show is exceptional because I am paying tribute to an amazing woman. Yeah, an amazing woman who's no longer with us, but that is the former First Lady, Barbara Bush, who was a part of a team that was just amazing in such a wonderful time. Her and her husband, George Walker Bush. But I'm honoring her because Barbara Bush lived to age 92. And I want you to put her picture up, please, Ben, if you would not mind. An amazing woman, an amazing woman. And I'm doing this show, which is about aging with no regrets, because she epitomized to me what that represented. She did. She was always on point. She was vibrant. She didn't allow wrinkles or her physical appearance to stop her inner woman. She was a powerhouse. And I admired her. Why? Because she just did it. She just did it. But she said something that I look at every morning. I actually have it in my bathroom. And it kind of got me on point, and hopefully it'll help you as well. And she said, at the end of your life, you will never regret not having passed one more test, not winning one more verdict for you lawyers, or not closing one more deal. That was my issue. You will regret times not spent with a husband, a friend, a child, or a parent. Did you hear this? You will regret not having spent time with a husband, a friend, a child, or a parent. She lived from 1925 until her transition in 2018. So I'm going to be talking about aging with no regrets, because statistically, you need to know we're not getting there, viewers. We're there. I am no longer a young woman. I have a young attitude, as you can see my red dress and my gold jewelry. I've got a young bling attitude, but chronologically, I am 71, moving quickly into 72. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know about you, but this thing came fast. It just came fast. I don't even know how it came. But one minute, you're doing one thing, and the next minute, kids are gone, you're doing something, and you realize, oh my gosh, look at this. I couldn't tell you the latest movies. I couldn't tell you the latest trends. I can keep up, and I do keep up because I'm still in private practice on economic trends and interest rates and global activity. But I am not a 20-year-old bar hopping girl. I'm not Barbie, although it's a great movie. Yes, it is. I am a fully grown woman with my panties pulled up. I'm not trying to figure it out. If you're still trying to figure it out at my age, I'm going to suggest that you consider therapy because you need to be intentional about where you are at this point in your life. And the pursuit of money and status and title just should go out the window because it's irrelevant. It is not important. It took me more than a minute to realize that life moves on quickly as you get older and that things begin to bother you if you're not aware. Now, I will tell you, the first thing that happened to me, and again, this was significant, was in 1989, I happened to have gone to a presentation in Cincinnati at Weiss Temple, a Jewish synagogue that had invited Ken Dickwall, who was then publishing the book Age Wave, to speak. And I attended that gathering. It was well attended, but I attended that gathering where he shared what was headed in our world, what was coming down the pike. And the information he shared was simply profound. It was so profound that it I was like, are you kidding me? What he said was that everything was changing, and it was changing fast. It's kind of like climate change today. 1 minute you're doing fine, and the next minute you're roasting. I mean, that's how fast the demographics of the world and this country changed with him publishing that book. Now, Mr. Dickwall, Dr. Dickwall, has gone on to publish many other books, but if you've done nothing else, go to the library, go to Amazon, and get that book called Age Wave. Why? Because it's going to open up your eyes to something that he saw in 1989, which was over 30 years ago. And he said that the group emerging was the fastest growing group. It was going to change America and globally, profoundly. The world was going to get older, grayer, slower, and that the numbers were not to be disputed. One of the things that he said in talking about it was that America, and it's right on track, the baby boomers are here, though that generation before us, the World War II people, are still here. Centenarians are the largest group in America in terms of growth. That's people over 100. Oh yeah, they are living long. But here is the shocking data. He said that 81% of America was, by the year, I think 2035, we're almost there, was going to be America. 81% of the population was going to be over 65. Did you hear me? 81% of the population is going to be over 65. Young people, get used to it and get over it. I'm not kidding you, because the other statistic, and this is all verifiable, go to Google and look at it yourself. You need to. But here's the other shocking statistic. Because women chose not to have children, by 2035, only 12% of our population over here will be 15 years old or younger, which means that we're skewed to seniors and the elderly. Now, I know you're like, you gotta be kidding me. This is what I say all the time. It comes fast, it comes quickly, and you need to prepare yourselves, both spiritually, both physically, both emotionally, because no, you can't do what your granddaughter can do. You got to go to bed. You're tired. You got to take a nap. You're tired. Things happen with your body that are part of this aging process. And yes, all your friends have wrinkles if they're in the same age group. Their hair is graying. Their body does not look the same. Things don't hang the same. And by the way, that's women. Men, you're looking rough too. Okay? It's not buff anymore. You walk a little slower. You think a little slower. Your brain gets foggy. And this is a part of growing older. But the key data here is 81% of America is going to be like you. And you know, that should be a comfort. But here is the truth. The truth is the traditional model of growing older is this. I'm getting ready to mess up a lot of young people, but I'm going to tell you, because as you see us, see yourself. Because if you live long enough, that's what's waiting on you. The traditional model of growing older looks like, well, I worked all my life. My wife stayed at home and took care of the kids. She did stuff. She did her garden clubs, did her church activity. Excuse me. She did these things. And at the appointed time, kids went to college, kids went to military maybe. They went on with their lives. They had children. You went on with your life. You continued to do what you were doing. And then you got sick, normally, and then you transitioned. And I use the term transitioned, and I want all of you that are listening to adopt that term, because saying, and then you died, just sounds so, Transition is a kinder way to talk about leaving your current state of affairs and moving on to something else. I don't know what that something else looks like. I don't plan on being here when I transition. I'm gone. And I am a Christian, therefore I do believe that there is an end game, which is eternity, eternal life with the King. That's not a bad story. But that's not what's the case today, because under the traditional model, what happens is there is a sequence of events and then you're out. Okay, somewhere between 55 and 75, you're out. Okay, now based on the numbers, maybe I need to be counting too, but I'm not, because the good news is, thanks to artificial intelligence, oh, you all know, you don't want to talk about it, Chat GPT, all that with robots and everything. They are rapidly moving into a place of longevity. Scientists and doctors are using that technology right now to eliminate a myriad of diseases and ailments, most of whom come to people as they age. They are working nonstop on Alzheimer. Oh, I believe they're going to have a cure. They're working nonstop at heart disease. They're working nonstop on diabetes. They're working nonstop on many, many ailments, of which, I don't know, cancer, oh my gosh. And because of artificial intelligence, They are pulling and culling data from research all over the world. They're not limited to the United States and the National Institute of Health and all these advisory groups. That machine is pulling data from all over the globe. That's correct, because science is science, whether it's in China, whether it's in the United States, whether it is in South Africa. Research and science is the same. It just depends on where you are located when you do the work. I mean, we know this from COVID because research on COVID was actually in place before all this just went helter-skelter in the United States through a relationship with China and the Wuhan lab. We already know this now, but it wasn't something that was talked about. Why? Because it wasn't relevant until it came here in a violent way. So I'm saying to you that thanks to AI, listen to me carefully, the trajectory on getting older is going to change and is changing now. Many things have been eliminated and eradicated through technology, and this is going to continue. In fact, the way things are now, that demographers, those are people that look at trends on aging, they are saying that we are expected to live, thanks to AI, another 30 years, which means you will reach 100 years old. Now here's the caveat. For those who have not taken care of themselves, for those who have not been attentive to the emotional requirements of growing older, which is that if you're 88, marrying a 50-year-old woman is not going to save you if you're sickly. She'll be happy because life insurance is real, but you won't make it because you didn't take care of yourself. So there are conditions for longevity that change the model, because if you are looking to live to 100, as I told a group that I spoke to, do you know how that changes your outlook and your attitude? Now, if you're a person that is excited, and I am, that's why I got on red, I'm excited. If I'm going to be living till 100, there are a couple of things I need to address. And that is, I'm doing better right now than any other age group. That is correct. Right now, seniors we have the money. That's why your grandkids won't leave you alone. And your kids are always hitting you for money. Yeah, because that's where the money is. We also have homes that we own. We know the statistics. We live in these homes. These homes are paid for, and we happen to like them. Okay, we're not running to a nursing home. Okay, we're not doing that for the most part. And if we do it, it's because we're tired of home ownership. And I'm telling you, cutting the grass and tending to all the things that are part of home ownership become a headache. So you have choices. You don't have to deal with parenting because you've already done that. You can see the grands when you want to. Hopefully, you will not be a part of the large and growing population of older women who are raising grandchildren because of their children's abandonment. That's another show. I'm not talking about it, other than you got to do what you got to do. And it's sad that in your older years, when you can begin to operate under choice, you are now raising somebody else's children, who are your children as well. You didn't just think it was going to land on your steps like that, and the financial accountability and responsibility of raising them can be hard. Children are expensive. In fact, one data set I was reading takes $200,000 to raise a child from birth to adulthood. $200,000. That's a lot of money, okay? Now you can say, but it makes me feel good. Well, I tell you what will make you feel better? make you feel better, is knowing that your children were accountable and responsible in raising their children. But many times, particularly today, with opioids and mental illness and everything, who would have thought? Who would have thought? But here we are. So again, though, the blessing is that you are still able to do these things, because in your grandparents' generation, where they were dead at 45, it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. They would have been gone. But you're still here. And that's why I'm saying the traditional model of growing older is absolutely obsolete. Kill it. Think, I'm going to be here at 100. What does that look like? Really? What does that look like? Okay? And if you can psychologically make that adjustment, which is this is the truth. We know from research that if you eat healthy, cut the meat, cut the pork, eat lots of green things, plants, salads, healthy food. Preferably you grow it yourself, okay? That's the optimal way to do it. And don't say you don't know, because many of us had grandparents who grew everything and ate and lived long, okay? So it's about health first, because this is the new model. The new model says, I'm living to 100. Oh my God, I don't want to live to 100 hurting with arthritis and hurting with this. You don't have to. You don't have to, because technology is going to, like I said, change the model. But you are still responsible for the care and well-being of your physical health and your mental health. Exercising every day, walking, at least move your body. Get up from the television before your body becomes a chair. Oh my God! Yeah, and move your body. Do things. Be active. And do it daily. Every day. Be about doing something. Okay? Because an inactive body is going to be a sick body. So make yourself, and I didn't say you had to get out and walk 3 miles or 1 mile, but move your body every day. Walk to the corner and back, then walk further and back, or go to the mall and walk, but move your body. Essential. And along with moving your body, make sure, all of you, that you see your doctor regularly. Yeah, regularly. It's called value-added care. It means you see your doctor monthly. Why? Because when you're getting older, things change in a minute. I'm serious. Things change in a minute. And if you don't have a doctor, and if you haven't done a physical, that's a problem. I mean a complete, comprehensive physical with blood work, with eyes, ears, everything, urine, everything, complete once a year. So there'll be no surprises. As you grow older, men, prostate cancer is real. It will kill you, by the way. So don't have the doctor ask you. You tell the doctor, I need this done, and do it every year. A colonoscopy to make sure you don't have polyps on your stomach or intestine every year. Why? Because they can become cancerous, and that's called colorectal cancer, colon cancer, colitis. These are preventable if you understand the power of self-care and self-love. When you can do that and live with that as a truth, then you will find that if you do have a problem, it can be fixed quickly. What you don't want to do, and what we have been conditioned to do, because we're getting older and, oh, well, these things happen. not to a healthy body. No, that's not the truth. To an unhealthy body, young or old, you're going to have problems. But it's not like you cannot get resolution because your commitment is, I'm living to 100. Now, I've had some seniors in my age group said, I don't want to live to 100. Okay, well then how old do you want to live? Well, I don't want to live. I just want to leave. I wish I could be that confident about how I'm going to exit here. Because the statistics say right now they get sick and they don't get better and they go into a facility because nobody can take care of them and then they transition out of here, predictably. Okay? That's how it is. You can change that. You can change that. If you're suffering from depression because your mind, that's the other thing, mental health. You've got physical requirements. Now you've got to deal with your mental health. And a part of mental health, folks, and mental health means, are you suffering from depression, loneliness, anxiety, etc.? My question to you is, why? Why? The model has changed. If you're suffering from depression, get out and get involved. There are senior groups you can access by computer. You can join up. Well, I don't know them. Well, they don't know you either. But you know what? A pleasant smile, a firm handshake, and a hello will go a long way. If you're not involved with church activity, then maybe you should consider it if you are church involved. Okay? Same thing with synagogues, same thing with not just synagogues, but also the Islamic customs. You have to make a decision to get involved and to engage with other people in a genuine way. And stop talking about how your body hurts, okay? The reason I'm saying that is, believe it or not, pain management is a billion-dollar industry. And if you haven't seen Painkiller on Netflix, watch it. And then be grateful that it didn't come your way. Because it did come for a lot of people who are trying to deal with pain from injuries, from mental challenges, and they took opioids. And you need to know that story, okay? Because opioids are right up there with Valium and all these other medications that do not deal with the real issue. And mind you, when a person experiences pain, that is real. Oh my gosh, that is so real. And it's global because pain is everywhere. But how you respond to pain is critical. Because if you tell your brain, I don't want to live anymore, guess what? Your faithful and obedient cells, 32 trillion of them, are going to say, did you hear that? Did you hear what they just said? They talk to each other. And guess what? They'll come into agreement with your declaration. And you will look up and you will have something going on inside of yourself that is completely unexplainable, other than the doctor says, yeah, it's terminal. You're not going to be here. And then people fold up their little tent and say, well, he said. No, you said. You said. So change the conversation. Okay, misery is a choice. Even people that have horrible pain. There are breathing exercises, acupuncture, and lots of things today. And be advised that artificial intelligence is working 24/7. Remember, robots don't sleep. They're always analyzing data. And when they feel they have enough, then you're going to look up and that situation is going to change. Do I believe there is a cure for pain? Yes, I do. I do feel there's a cure for pain. Is it on the horizon? I think that's reasonable to say in the next 10 years. there will be an answer for pain. There's all kinds of pain, but it all starts with something happening in your body, that type of pain. Now, mental illness is a type of pain too. And I don't have an answer for schizophrenia, all of those. But again, what I'm telling everyone that's watching here, do you want to live to be 100? Or do you want to give up the ghost and meet your maker? Your choice. Seriously. But I do know quality of life is very, very, very important. Mentally, physically, and financially. And for those of you who have dumped all your money and are just spending like there's no tomorrow, well, you better hope there's no tomorrow, because if you're still here, because physically you're great, mentally you're great, and you just weren't counting on here, well, you better, because you do have to live. And speaking of living, since we're looking at 100, what does that do for Social Security? Well, the young people already know it's not going to be here for them. And for those of us who are heading toward 100, we would hope that plan would be intact, although there are challenges for real in funding because Congress stole the money. The money we paid into, to finance other stuff. And I'm like, you need to take care of us. You need to take care of your own people and stop being a globetrotter, okay? Now, as we look at where things are, may I suggest to all of you that if you have been blessed to cross over to 65, may I submit to you for your consideration the power of being appreciative, grateful, and giving back. Can you not be appreciative of every day that you are alive? And if you're not in any kind of pain or ill health, be more than appreciative. Be grateful, be ecstatic, be joyful, all the above. My family, Sister Michelle, is always jumping up and down. Whether I hear music or not, I'm jumping up and down because I am grateful to be able to look in the mirror at my age and see, looking back at me, a woman who is joyful, meaning thank you for giving me life today, because many did not have life. Many are looking at a grave. Many are looking at profound terminal illnesses, okay, at young ages. I am incredibly joyful. I don't have time to look wrinkly and mean. Why? Because that mental state will take you someplace. I tell seniors, if you are a habitual gossiper, meaning you got a comment and commentary about everybody, for everybody, like they want to hear you doing this. Oh, did you see her? Oh, did you see him? Oh, are they? Be quiet. Be quiet. Make a commitment to be quiet and to stop gossiping, okay? Because just like you are gossiping, someone's gossiping about you. And it may be true. Oh my God. Because by the time you get our age, for those of you out here that did not take care of your children, men especially, kids everywhere, not color specific, white men, black men, rich men, poor men, kids everywhere, hating you, that, whoo-wee, can you bear that and that weight? And not wanting to put things in order, which you should do. Why? Because even if they reject your act of kindness, at least you tried. And you may even get to know your grandkids, which would be nice. Let me give you a small statistic, by the way. Men that are not married, single men, die sooner. Yeah, yeah. God's got a sense of humor. Didn't take care of your kids, don't have anybody to take care of you, didn't maintain your health, did not maintain a self-discipline about you. And don't worry, you won't live to 100. Don't worry. You will be a statistic. This is why I'm saying appreciation, gratefulness, gratitude, and then giving back. And why do I say giving back? I say giving back because does the world need our wisdom? Just look around. I'm not offended that we have a president that is old. Okay, and he does have brain fog from time to time, can't read the teleprompter from time to time. And what do you want? Neither can you. Isn't it nice to know you have company? But what you do have with an older president, including Ronald Reagan, who's unfortunately moved into Alzheimer's, and that's another conversation. We pray this president does not have that going on. But look at the wisdom that comes from the years of doing what he does. There is value to experience, knowledge, and having done it. When an older woman tells a younger woman who is frustrated with her children, it will get better because they will grow up. She's speaking from a knowledge pool. If she had children, she knows. At 2 years old, they are a force to be reckoned with. They're short, they're full of teeth, and they do everything. Yeah, they do. Particularly if you're the mother. You say, how did this happen? Because they're babies and they're two. They don't know anything. Why do teenagers act wacko? Hormones. Oh, like you don't know about hormones. Like the jitterbug just popped up out of nowhere. Like the hot pants weren't hot. Like James Brown was not banging. I mean, come on. Your parents had to live through this. Okay? They had to live through it. And they did. They did, because they said wisely, she'll be okay. He'll be okay when they have their own. They will respect what we had to do as parents. And for the record, you don't get brownie points and stars for being good parents. You do not. And I tell young women this all the time. You do not get rewards for being a good and attentive parent. That's what you enlisted in, whether voluntary or not. You are responsible for leaving a legacy of integrity and honor and character and spiritual foundation so that they won't blow themselves up. Because trust me, without proper training and guidance, they will. I look around today and I'm like, where are the grandparents? Well, they're on a cruise. They're doing this. They're living their life. They're spending your inheritance. Really? Is that what you think life is about? How many cruises do you want to take? Okay? How many Las Vegas soirees do you want to take? Okay? What really counts in the end? Your ability to drop money down and see all the parts of the world that you didn't see when you were raising children are really beginning to impart into your children and hopefully grandchildren the secrets of living a prosperous life. And it's not money. It's not money. Oh no. You can have all the money in the world and die of loneliness because nobody wanted your money while you were alive and waiting for you to die. Think I'm kidding? I happen to have been a speaker many years ago at a national convention, and the Florida Morticians were in attendance. It was a mortuary conference. And they told me that their biggest problem was the family didn't pick up the remains. After the person died and was cremated per instructions, the family didn't show up to pick up the cremains. That's what they're called. The family didn't want anything to do. They did want to know, was there any money? Was there any money? And if the answer was, no, well, that was the end of that. And at that time, that's 20 plus years ago, I was shocked. I was like, who would do that to grandma? People that don't care. People that have not experienced love, starting with themselves. So my admonition to all of you that are aging with no regrets, because you're going to be 100, and you better hope you don't outlive your money, and you better hope you got long-term care insurance to cover you for custodial, because things do change, and you do need help. Okay, that's a fact. And as a sidebar, I am licensed to do long-term care, short-term and long-term. And the biggest issue I have today with people my age is my children are going to take care of me. Nope, because they're busy living their best lives. So you need to take care of yourself. You need to put things in place that say, I love me, and I'm going to do for me. And I recognize as I grow older that things have to change. And I've had seniors tell me, I can't change. You must. Life is about every 60 seconds, a cell in your body gives up the ghost. And a new one's there. They didn't ask your permission. They just did it. Now you run into cancer because the cell won't die. God set it up where we are going to be changing often. It's just when you get into this brain set, which is, I did it this way, I did it my way. Whoever sang that song, I think he's gone. I did it my way. Your way, highway. Okay? And so I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I'm exuberant. I am full of joy. Despite everything that's going out here. I mean, everything. The whole world's going boom, 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 boom. I'm alive. I cannot believe I'm alive. And I am in reasonably good health. Not perfect, but every day I do something to tweak it. I watch my mouth. I don't let negative become a part of my conversation. If you're negative, don't call me because I'm going to hang up. I promise you. I promise you. You start that whining and complaining about your wayward kids and your church and your friends, we too old for that. Okay? This part of your life is no regrets. No regrets. Say what you got to say. Do what you need to do. In relationships that have been terminal anyway. Well, you don't understand. We've been friends forever. Who are you kidding? You couldn't possibly call that person a friend. They don't care anything about you. If you're homeless, will they take you in? If you're broke, will they bail you out? Come on, let's get away from all of those characteristics when you know it's not relevant or applicable. And consider a new set of friends that are also independent, that are also happy, smile, laugh, look at TV and find stuff interesting, go to movies. I'm getting ready to go to see Golda. Why? Because I'm fascinated with Golda Meir. No, I'm not Jewish. Don't be backwards. I love brilliant people. She was a brilliant woman in a time in history where women were not doing that. And I happen to believe that she is one of those unsung heroes that's getting ready to get sung. As we're going to look at her and we're going to say, wow, wow. Now that's real. That's not fantasy. That's real. Going to see her. Hope to see a lot of you all there as well, to see what happens when an older woman steps into her own, like Barbara Bush and others. Okay, Dorothy Height, deceased but a brilliant woman. Okay, founder of the Black Family Reunion. She had vision. Other people didn't, but she did, and she made it happen. Okay, and there are many, 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 many other people that are older who are not being lifted up, and their stories not being told, but the story that you're hearing from media is that somehow we're done, finished, although I believe things are changing. Why? Because when you're 81% of the population and the media is still focusing on that cute little 23-year-old girl with lashes like mink and hair down to her tush, and you're like, I don't look like that. That means you're not going to buy from the advertisers on that venue. And since we have the money, yes, we do, and we're not in credit card debt, that's going to have impact. You're going to see more and more people on television that have wrinkles, that look a little bit older. And you're going to see that because that's where we are as a nation. We are aging rapidly. The model has changed. And you want to be a part of it. You do not want to fall back in your thinking to negativity and looking at Botox to save you. Excuse me? Did you not earn your wrinkles or not? Okay? Did you not earn them? Okay? And no, I'm not doing that. Excuse me. I'm not doing that to my body. You're not cutting on me unless it's to save my life. You're not doing that to me. No, I'm clear. I'm intentional. I'm happy. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be able to talk to you all today about this subject matter with the confidence that, hey, it's going to be there. Now, the other thing I project is that once people begin to recognize as a real that aging does not go backwards unless you're going to a TV. I think they had a movie about some guy that went backwards all the way to his babyhood. And I saw the movie and I said, now that is misery. That is got to be misery, to be out there looking like that. And yet I see some seniors who are out there looking like that. Now don't get it twisted. Oh, let me clarify. Twisted means like a rope, twisting it. So you don't want to get my information like a rope twisted. You want to look and be comfortable at your age. You don't have to wear jet-setting clothes. Okay, and I tell this to people all the time. They say, oh, but you dress to the nines. I said when I was younger and I was an active executive, these are my clothes. This is what I wore. Am I going out here into the marketplace and spend my money on that type of stuff? I guess I can, but I'm not, because I don't need that kind of affirmation. Clothes don't define me. Neither do rags, so don't twist it. Don't go out there looking like a beach bum and looking crazy. But dress, when you look in the mirror, you can say, I look good. I like it. I like it. It makes me look good. Have that kind of conversation. When you see other people and you're happy and smiling, they're going to smile at you too. They are. And it's going to be all good for you. On the give back, the first give back, and I'm getting ready to close. The first and freest give back you have available is you can give back the gift of love. You can smile with your eyes, just laugh. I was so intense when I was younger. And for those of you that know me, that woman was intense. I had to get it done. 12-hour work days. Didn't get to see a lot of my kids' activities because I was on this pursuit. Oh, I'm going to do it. You know what? It will let you down every time. It's just stuff. It's not for you to get caught into and sucked into. And so many of our seniors, particularly men, you can't make that transition. You haven't built up other relationships. You don't even know your wives. The dog will bite you. But you can give back love. You can really define for yourself that I am going to live a happy and focused and prosperous life. I'm going to prosper in all things that I'm involved in. And I'm going to bring that gift of love everywhere because love is priceless. You cannot pay me to care and to love about you. You can't give me the money. All you can do is say, I'm grateful that that person loves me unconditionally. So, in closing out today's show, I just want to remind you that you can age with no regrets. I want to remind you that 100 is the new 60, that if you can take care of yourself spiritually, have a relationship with God, do not talk to me about atheism when I'm looking at everybody dying and transit. Don't talk to me about that. You may have done that when we were younger because you didn't know any better, because you didn't know. But now I'm about making sure my spiritual life is right because eternity is more real to me than not. I'm making sure that my mental health is right, that I take time to love me, to read books, to walk the park, to laugh, to dig in dirt. I'm a Kentucky girl, remember, I like dirt. And to love people. And finally, my physical health. Am I taking care of myself? Am I seeing the doctor regularly? Am I advocating for myself? Forget the doctor. Advocate for yourself. If something doesn't look right, tell them to see what it is and fix it. I just told my doctor that. I said, I don't like this. Fix it. And 2 days later, guess what? It was fixed. He was like, okay. Yeah, because I only got one of me. So thank you for being a part of my show today on Aging with No Regrets, the new face of America. And may I encourage you to live a great life, be a great person, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.